Stephanie, welcome to the show. Why don't you give our listeners a bit of background about you, what you do now, and how you help people?
Yeah, for sure. Welcome or thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here. So I just wanted to first say thank you. Appreciate it. And I have always felt like I didn't quite fit into the mold. I followed the normal trajectory of life, go to school, get the college degree. I even went and got my master's degree. And then I got the perfect job right out of college. And I felt like I was shrinking and slowly dying inside, is what I tell people. And it wasn't until my dad was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's that I came back to work that next day completely devastated, unable to stop crying, and I was put in my office by my coworker, and she said, "Come out when you're done crying." And that was kind of the pivotal moment for me to realize that I wanted to be my own boss. I wanted to be my own the person that I look to and talk to for time off and all of those things. So I realized that I wanted to be with him through the trajectory of this disease, and I left that job. Was it terrifying? Absolutely, yes. And I dove headfirst into entrepreneurship, had no idea what I was doing. I had a social work background with my graduate degree, and entrepreneurship was very new to me. No one in my friends and family circle were entrepreneurs, and no one really still is. It's me, and it's always been me, and I love it that way now, but it was a journey, and I dove deep into entrepreneurship because I had no other choice to that's what I gave myself, was no other choice to stay home and be able to be with him when he needed me to be. So I built a big business. I built a six-figure business, and full circle, I lost my dad at the same time that business kind of felt like it was, again, I was shrinking. I had followed the normal trajectory of business growth where I listened to the gurus, I listened to the trends, I posted on social media 5 times a day in the beginning, and I had the checklists, and so I'd fallen back into the trap of normalcy and ended up overwhelmed, frustrated, burnt out, exhausted, and really resented my business. And I was helping hundreds of people step into the online space, and not everyone was successful. And I know why now, and I'll share that in a second. But I was giving them the same things that I learned, the same blueprints, the same funnels, the same systems. And now I know better, but I know I had to go through that in order to get to where I am today. So I let that business go. After I lost my dad, I really went internal to learn myself and understand why I keep doing this. Why is this a pattern of, following the normal trajectory that felt so awful? And my sister-in-law sent me a text, and she said, "Have you heard of human design?" And I said, "Yes, I think it's fluff." I chalked it up to Enneagram, Strengths Finders, Myers-Briggs, those types of things, and she said, "You need to read it." So I did. I got my design, the overarching highest part of my design, and I sat down on my couch and I read it. And it was the first time that I felt seen and heard and validated for who I actually was beneath the surface, beneath the conditioning. And so I've made it my mission. I've built a business now using my human design 100%, and I can explain more what that I mean by that too if you'd like. But and now I help other people step into the entrepreneurial space to build a business that is no longer consumed with burnout and frustration and overwhelm, but really feels good and sustainable and actually brings in the clients that you want to work with. Because when you're not aligned, you will bring in clients that you do not want to work with. So it's all full circle. And I know I was meant to go through those things, but that's where I'm at.
Yeah, a lot of what you said then kind of resonates so much with me and kind of my journey as well. Um, but can I just say, what an asshole! Come out when you finish crying. I mean,
Oh, it was I'm looking back now, and it was the pivotal moment for me, so it's almost like that needed to be said to me so I could make the final decision. That the one decision that I always knew that I didn't fit into the mold, but I needed that little kick in the pants, I guess, to make the decision for myself.
yeah, the asshole that eventually did you a favor.
Right, exactly. That's what I look at it as, yeah.
Take us back to that moment then, when you said that it was kind of the first time you felt seen when you were reading this human design. Take us through that and how that felt, and then what was the journey like from that moment
Mhm.
to find your kind of purpose, I
Yeah.
suppose?
Yeah, so I was still honestly in the grief cycle of losing a big business, a big income, and my dad at the same time. And when I sat down to read this, again, so for if anybody knows what human design is, let me first explain what it is so we don't I'm not talking and you don't understand. So, human design is comprised of your birth time, your birthplace, and your birth date, and 3 months prior to that. And you put this information in, and it creates this beautiful chart. Most people think it's out there and whatever it might be, but it creates this chart that you don't really understand probably. And so when I actually dove deep into what it said, everything started to unravel. I've had probably, I think, 820 plus people get their design from me, and not one person has come back and said. So that's one misconception that I hear is this seems kind of out there. And I said, well, if you're frustrated, you're burnt out, you're overwhelmed, you're exhausted, why not try it? I mean, just why? Just read about yourself. So I remember sitting there and I was just in awe because it said, I'm a 3-5 manifesting generator. Now that means my chart literally says I am meant to pivot fast, move fast. I'm not meant for 9 to 5. I am not meant for the normal trajectory. I feel it made me feel flaky. It made me feel like, why is everybody else is doing this? I should be happy with this job and all these things. And it wasn't meant for me. And that's why I felt like I was shrinking. And my 3-5 profile says that I am meant to build it up, burn it down, fail forward, build it up again, and tell people what works. And that's exactly what I've lived out. And I didn't know I was doing that until I read my design. And so it was just so cool to see that I'm not meant for the normal path. Most people aren't. Some people are meant for 9 to 5 if they thrive in it and they love it. But for me, it was not the case. And I am meant to have a lot of ideas at the same time and try new things all together. And that's overwhelming for some people. But for me, it always felt right, but I felt wrong doing it. So I always say that human design, and that's just the tippy top level of your design, human design teaches you. It doesn't put you in a box. It shines the light on the box you put yourself in unknowingly by following everybody else's agendas.
Um, and take us back to that business that you'd created off the back of that asshole kicking you up the backside.
Yeah, yeah.
That business you created. Um, I mean, to build a six-figure business is obviously means you were very successful. But when I say successful, to me, success has changed as my definition now. It used to be building a successful business and earning the money, but now it's more about finding peace and freedom and adventure and all
Yes.
that kind of like internal stuff. But what was it like to build that business and then to be at a point where you go, I just can't do this anymore. I need to change. Something needs to change. Because I know what that moment was like for me. It wasn't with a six-figure business, but it was with the kind of business I'd created as well and the coaching that I was doing, which was kind of very similar to what you were talking about as well. To be honest, I got to a point where I just wasn't enjoying the conversations anymore about business strategies and marketing and social media and all this. And I was like, this is not what I signed up for when I wanted to do coaching. I want to help people with their dreams and that kind of thing. So I know what that moment was like for me. What was it like for yourself, and what did it teach you moving forward?
Yeah, and I think going back to what you said about your definition of success has changed, and so for me also, with my first business, I was so about the external validation, the people, social media, people seeing me, people hearing my voice. You know, I felt like I was constantly just trying to climb almost a corporate ladder, and it didn't feel good. I put myself back in the same situation, and I was listening to the gurus on social media. I was doing the posting I was told to do. I was messaging in the way I was told to message. Uh, the hooks and the just all these things that are not me. And when I realized that after I lost my dad, I kind of, like I said, I kind of went internal, and I honestly had to find a connection with myself, and I told myself there has to be more. there has to be more than this. So yes, I'm making great money, but I don't like what I'm doing. And it's not doesn't have to be that way. What I know that now, it doesn't have to be that way. You can make amazing money and absolutely love what you're doing, and you can make amazing money and hate what you're doing. And it was that pivotal moment for me where I was like, no, I don't like this anymore. I'm going to burn it all down and we're going to start fresh using my human design. And that was a complete pivot for me because I had followed the the people that taught me what to do. And now when I work with clients, it's all different. I all everybody's chart is different, and so we work differently in their business, and it's so fascinating to see their light just come to life. And oh my gosh, this is why I've been struggling. So I think for me it was just the I had to tell myself there has to be more. There has to be more to this whole entrepreneurship thing. I'm not going back to 9 to 5. That's not an option for me. So it was I needed to build different. I needed to build in a way that felt good at the end of the day.
Yeah. And did you, once you'd found that human design side of things, did you immediately think this is what I want to be doing, or did it take a process for you to get to the point of actually, yeah, I do want to do human design? Was there anything you tried in between the burning it down
Oh,
and
yeah.
starting something new?
Yeah. I tried all of the digital marketing things, the selling other people's products, I've tried it all, and none of it was
Sorry, I'm,
me.
I'm laughing because this just sounds exactly like my journey.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have tried it all. And again, I would love to know what your human design is because I'm meant to try and fail more than most people. And so we have the Chiron report too, a Chiron return, which is for when you're, 40s and over. And I am still meant to trial and error. Like it stays the same for me. So I know that I have a lot more growth to do, but I know I'm in the right place now in helping people find the success that they deserve and that they feel good about. But yeah, it was a very just eye-opening experience to the first probably 2 months, I just dove into myself because I wanted to. Because remember I said had chalked it up to Myers-Briggs Strengths Finders, which the difference between those is that those are answered from a conditioned mind. Those are answered from a mind that has been through societal conditioning, trauma, upbringing, external thoughts, opinions. And so it's completely different. That's why I never resonated with it because I got the results and I was like, that's not me. I knew deep in my soul that wasn't me, even though this said it was me on paper. Now, those types of things I believe put you in a box. But that's just my opinion. And so it's, I had to study it myself first to see if this is really legit. And the more I dove into it, I mean, it tells you your superpowers, it tells you the things you've probably done in the past, and now you're moving forward. I mean, it was accurate on everything. Um, and so the more I dove into it, it tells you your vibe of tribe, like who you're meant to help, the traits you can see best in people, what they see in you. It's very, very fascinating. And so I was just like, I have to tell this with my entrepreneurial community. Like it's just one of those things where it was such a light bulb moment of that's why so many people were not successful in my first business. And I actually have the life's purpose of the new era, which is the new era of the individual. Because if you can probably feel it that the the big systems are breaking down. The education system, the healthcare system, the political system, it's all breaking down because we need to come home to ourselves on an individual level in order to fulfill what we're meant to do here and move mankind forward. And so that's literally my life's purpose. And that's another time I was like, this is me. This is what I'm supposed to do. Now, my husband's life purpose is leadership. He is meant to be in a 9 to 5 that he loves. So it's just really, really fascinating to see what it says about you. And yeah, I have no doubt that this is the new era and this is the only way to build a sustainable business.
She was interviewing me about this podcast and the journey I'm going on now, and I'm literally talking about exactly what you were just talking about. Then it's so strange, and this was like Sunday.
Oh my gosh. You have to get your human design chart after this.
Yeah, definitely. So what is so someone's got their their human design chart in front of them, and they're
Mhm.
reading through it, and like you, they're going, "Wow, this is incredible. This is how does it know? How does it know these things?" What are kind of like some maybe actionable steps that they could kind of take moving forward to change things for them? So, say they're
Yeah.
burnt out and they're stressed and all this kind of stuff, and they're reading this and thinking, how can I actually practically take this forward?
Yeah. Well, the cool thing is that I created a free, like, you get your free chart, your free 15-page PDF, and a free 5-part audio that helps you kind of look at it and start to see what it can do in your business. So that helps. Just listening to my voice and explaining how that can start to change your business. I always go back to my client's authority. That's the piece that I had to connect with on a deep level before I could really start to live out my design. Your authority is your decision-making process in your design. I have a sacral authority, which means that if someone comes to me about a business idea or anything really in life, so a collaboration, a thought, an idea, I know in my gut if I'm connected with that part of me that it's right. And I know yes or no right away. Now I had to work on that because it's so before the mind takes over, because it's so easy to bypass that gut feeling and wait, what did she say? What would she think? Or you know what I mean? So creating that relationship with your gut is my authority. I'll tell you a couple others. There's several, but emotional authority is one. And I say that if the leaders of the world knew that they had an emotional authority, if they do, then this world would be a different place. Because emotional authorities are not meant to make a decision in the now. Let's say you have some if you let's say you have an emotional authority and you have someone come to you with a collaboration or a big business idea and you're so excited about it, you want to say yes right away. If you know you have an emotional authority, it is best to wait till that emotional wave is done. The term sleep on it is best for people with emotional authorities because what happens is a lot of the times you say yes and then you end up regretting it in the end. And when explain that to my clients who have emotional authority, they're like, "I do that all the time." Or they say no, and then they think back like, "Dang, I think that would have been a great opportunity." So it's just really waiting for that wave to come out. And there's also self-projected authority, which means that you need to have someone that is a safe space, not to give you feedback back, but to express your ideas and thoughts out loud because you hearing your own voice say it is how you're going to make your decision. It's so fascinating when I explain this to people and they're like, "Yep, that tracks. That's me." Yeah, it's cool. So those are just a few, but that's how I've built my entire business is first listening to my authority and then listening to all the other pieces of it.
Interesting. And have you had any clients where they've come to you and they already have their own business, and then you show them their human design and then they go, ah, and like you and me, they kind of tear it all down and start again?
Yeah, I have a client right now actually who has a business. She has a business, but she doesn't have the clients she wants. So she has all the website and everything else that needs to be set up on the back end, but she's not getting the clients. And it's because she's not speaking in your design teaches you how your voice is meant to be heard and what so for instance, the Vibe of Tribe that I mentioned before, I have a Vibe of Tribe, a line 1 Vibe of Tribe. I'll just explain what that means because people are like, "What the heck are you talking about?" That means that my people need to see as much information as they can. They need to see testimonials, FAQs. They need to go deep into what I do before they're going to say yes. That's not everybody, but we think it's everybody. So we make our landing pages super long and people just scroll out of them because they don't want to read all that. But my people do. Some people, if they have a line 4, they need to help people see that they're going to be a part of a community when they join them. It's all about networking and community. So just explaining those 2, see how different that is. So it really teaches you how people see you and how the traits in other people that you can see the best. Yeah, it's
I am
fascinating.
I am very intrigued now because
Yeah.
of
I'm
what you were
telling you.
saying then. Yeah. So
Mhm.
with this, I've got so many ideas of where I want this kind of podcast to go in terms of creating a community off of the back of it, and like a potential mastermind and group coaching as well.
Yes.
So I'm very intrigued now as to what that that looks like. Um, yeah, yeah, interesting.
Yeah, it's so cool. And another piece that I love to walk my clients through is we have hidden fears in our chart that we don't even know are there. And so I walk them through the fears that they're in 3 of the energy. We have 9 energy centers in our body graph, and 3 of the centers hold our fears. Now, some of the normal fears that we hear are fear of rejection, fear of failure. In my chart, I have fear of rejection, and understand it now because I am meant to lead this movement. It literally says that in my chart, and my growth is all individual based. So I don't need other people to help me move this forward. Some people need other people to help them move their mission forward. So see how it goes really, really deep. And so it's just, I have just found that processing through my own journey and understanding what I'm meant to do and where my fears are. So that fear is there because I am more prone to fear of like people coming back at me like that doesn't why are you doing that? This is different. This is weird. And I have to be okay with that. Which I totally am now, but beginning before I was a people pleaser, I was terrified. I would make a post and I would delete it because I was worried about what people would think. And that was my fear in the background that I didn't really fully know was there until I looked at it in my chart.
I feel like I could talk to you about this human design quite a lot.
I mean, yeah, it can take months to study your whole design, but I like to help people get on the fast track with it so they can really see what actually matters. I had a client come to me who knew her energy type and her profile, and she thought she knew everything, and I was like, "Oh, that's just the tippy top of the iceberg." Yeah,
Just
so
the
funny.
tippy top.
Yeah, yeah.
So where do you see things going forward for you then? Into just if we're kind of like rounding up your kind of entrepreneurial journey.
Mhm. Yeah,
So obviously say goodbye to the 9 to 5, build a business, burn it down, start again. What's the next step
yeah,
on that
yeah.
journey for you? So if this episode is hitting home for you and Stephanie's incredible journey is inspiring you, do me a favor, screenshot this on your phone, post it to your Instagram stories and tag me uncharted_adventure_podcast. Let me know your biggest takeaway, and I'll be reposting some of those insights, and we'll maybe be talking about them on the show. So let's get the conversation going. Now, back to the show.
So I love speaking. I love talking about this. Clearly, I'm like obsessed with it. I believe this is the new way that we have to operate because we were gifted this design and it's our mission to gift it, like be to fulfill that. And so I love speaking. I want to speak on big stages. I've been on lots of summits, lots of podcasts, but I want to speak on big stages and I want to have I'm getting to the point now where it's really hard to have so many one-on-one clients. So I want to start doing group coaching and membership. Yeah, I have lots of ideas with my manifesting generator nature. That's the other thing too is they'll tell you to niche down, and that is so not my design. I need to know who I'm talking to as far as like business owners, but when you try to niche me down anymore, it feels restrictive for me, and some designs need that. So
We we are pretty much on exactly the same
I
path,
know that's why I
and
want to
I've
see
been
your
on the
chart.
same
I'm
journey
like,
because I'm getting into speaking as well. I've literally just recently hired a speaking coach to help me get
nice.
into speaking, and it's so crazy.
Yeah,
Um, in
so cool.
terms of what's been what's been a moment that was, I don't want to say rock bottom, but what's been a tough moment, obviously with your dad dying and the initial kick up the backside. But what's been another maybe kind of really tough moment that's helped you move forward?
Um, I think just really looking at my fears and my design that really helped me understand why I was holding my why I couldn't I would go to bed at night and I'm like, why didn't I do that I knew I wanted to do or why what is holding me back? And it can get so frustrating when we have all these things we desire to do and we just don't do them and we don't know why. The mindset work, yes. I mean, that's important, but until you look at your fears face to face and think, wow, you see them, they start to dissipate, they start to go away, and you really start to understand yourself on a whole new level. I think I think for me, it was the fear getting over the fear of losing that massive income and starting over. But it wasn't even I didn't even feel like I was starting over because this feels so aligned. I love what I do every day, and that's one thing they say about burnout and overwhelm and exhaustion. We've normalized that. We have normalized that in society, in life, in business. And what I am here to say is that it's not normal. And I used to think it was. I used to think, "Oh, I gotta do this checklist. I gotta work after my kids go to bed. I gotta get up at 5 a.m. to do all these things I need to do in my business." And I do a ton in my business every day, but it's so aligned that I don't feel burnt out because I've listened to my design. So, what I say about burnout is that burnout has nothing to do with the amount of things you have on your plate. Because a lot of people will say, "Oh, I have so many things to do. I'm so burnt out." Cool. That has nothing to do with it. It's the misalignment to those things, right? We all have a lot of things to do, but what are you doing? That's you don't love to do. So, yeah.
I keep smiling and laughing out. It's because again, I was literally just talking about this on the when I was interviewed on Sunday on the podcast, and I'd say exactly the same thing. So I was burnt out and overwhelmed and stressed, but now I'm doing the same amount, if not more. But it's so aligned.
Mhm. Yeah.
It just fills me with energy.
Yeah.
It's like I have to be doing it. What else am I gonna do?
Right. Yeah. I've never wanted to be that, you have the business owners that post they're buying yachts and they're floating on a pool all day. I've never wanted to be that quote like successful looking entrepreneur. I want to be one that loves what she does. Like she could do it till every day. I don't want to be that one that has the systems going in the background and I don't have anything to do with it. I want to be in it and just yeah, it's so and once you get to know your design too, you become so okay with people not understanding you. When you if you are a people pleaser or you are someone who struggles with that, like I said, I have 0 friends and family still to this day. My um clients are not from here. They are from all over. I have 2 from here, but that's it. And so I have no friends and family. It's me, and when you understand your design, you become so okay with just talking about it and just sharing it with the world. It just doesn't you don't even think about it anymore.
Yeah, yeah. I can't agree anymore with what you say.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
scary.
I so just another example of what your design will tell you. So, and you might be the opposite of me in this, and because one of my clients is the opposite in me of this, but I would purchase tickets to like networking events, local networking events, because I was trying to get more local. I was trying to get to know more of local business owners, and I couldn't go this last time because I had hurt my back, and I wondered why I didn't feel bad about it. I didn't feel like I was going to miss anything. I didn't feel like I didn't feel I felt it was fine. It wasn't I didn't think twice about it, and when I look deeper into my chart at that piece, it says that those types of events are not for me because they're too surface level conversations. I need one-on-one deep conversations. That is how I'm going to get this word out there. That's how I'm going to thrive. So that was super fascinating to me to understand that that's why I love podcasting and that's why I love one-on-one clients and getting to meet people more than just how's your dog, how's your day. So yeah, my chart told me that that's why. So it's kind of cool.
I need to do mine now. It's freaking me out a little.
For sure. For sure. I can't wait till it spits out and I see what it says.
How we keep coming back to this human design thing, but it's so obviously a massive part of what you do, and I'm so fascinated by it. How big is this document we're talking about?
Yeah. Yep. So stefcarlstedt.com/HD report. We can put that in the show notes too. But I mean, you can go to my website also and it's on there, but you just put your birth information in, click go, and you get this chart and then you can download a 15-page PDF. and then you can, listen to a 5-part audio series about now you have this. That's my mission because most people charge for stuff like that. I'm going to be honest. Most of the time, you get your body graph and then they say, pay for your report. But I don't want that because then people are just going to put it on the shelf because they see a body graph. They have no idea what it means. And I want people to be able to go a step further before working with me to see if this is like how much it resonates with them, to see what, what it can start to transform in their life and business. I believe to be a good business owner, you should know everybody around you. So I know my kids, I know my spouse, I know their designs. And so it's really, really changed our life. Yeah.
I feel like I want to integrate it into not necessarily my coaching that I do with my clients, um, but maybe just to when I'm working on one because I do group coaching. But I feel like it would be very useful just in terms of knowing who I'm talking
100%.
to.
Yeah. 100%. And I also help corporate teams. And that's one thing that I think is going to be life changing. It is my mission to get this in schools, in every corporate team around the world, and daycares. Like people need to know who their kids are that they're talking to, even if it's just the energy type and the profile. We can't do the one size fits all anymore. We're in the new era of the individual. So with leaders of teams, I think it's so important too to know what strength this person has, how they're meant to move. If you have a manifester who is very put standoffish and you think you did something wrong all the time, and you understand that that's her aura, that's his aura, that you start to see, oh, I didn't do anything wrong. That's just their aura's closed off, and that's how they are as a person. So it's just so good for dynamics too. I've thought so much about that. Where do I need to start? I know there's a lot of red tape I would have to get through, but it's a necessity. And I the schools that are embracing more individual type things are going to be more successful. And the homeschool rate is skyrocketed. Not to get off it on a whole new tangent, but it's this is a must. And that's my mission, to get this in the hands of as many people as I can. Because we're here to provide, we're here to be move through the world in a specific way. We have a certain purpose. We have passions that are hidden because of the conditioning and strengths and superpowers. And it's time to uncover it all because we can't work the way we used to work anymore. It
Yeah,
doesn't work.
yeah. I don't. Do you know Daniel Priestley? Daniel Priestley,
I don't think
kind of
so.
like a serial entrepreneur, but he's got a very fascinating take on, especially the UK's school system and how it's almost setting kids up for failure more than anything in the kind of current
For
age
sure.
that we're in. And I think having something like that human design and the kids understanding what they what they need for themselves out of the world and how they can potentially go out and get it, I think could be so
For sure.
beneficial, so
Yeah.
beneficial. And
Yeah, I saw something the other day. It said something like we need to stop preparing kids for jobs. We need to start looking at their skills, what they love, what their passions are, and go from there. I was at a college visit for my oldest daughter this last week, and the lady literally said, "Your job at college is to find your purpose so you can find your profession." And I just wanna be like, "Ah, okay." When you're sitting there and you know the truth behind it all and that this individual stuff is what has to happen. It will get there. I know we'll get there. More and more people are opening up to it, so
invention of AI and where that's taken everything as well, it'll obviously replace some people's jobs, and then they're just going to be lost without understanding that purpose and all that kind of thing behind it. So yeah, and now you've just been talking about this human design. What's been ticking in the back of my head is, so I'm looking to do so like, I don't know whether you're aware that I think it's 70 to 75% of all suicides are males, and so I'm looking to do something around purpose building
my gosh.
with charities and that kind of thing. And you've just got me thinking about how I could
Oh my
maybe
gosh.
integrate this into it, and maybe
The
give some
thing
a bit of information about why. they're on the path they are currently as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, and the thing about human design is, like I said, it sheds a light on the box you put yourself in, and so many people are struggling in life because they have followed the normal trajectory. They've fallen into the mold, and we're that's not what we can't thrive that way. We're not meant to. And that's why people come home frustrated after work or after whatever it is they're doing, and everybody around us suffers, and including ourselves, and we don't realize it. When you understand that piece, like every single piece of your design, you become it's almost like when I see a light light up in my clients' eyes. It's so cool whenever they say, I mean, I had one yesterday that was like, "How you know me better than my best friend does." But we've hidden parts of us, right? We've hidden parts of us because they're not looked at as okay. They're becoming more okay. But like I said, mine was never okay because I'm not meant for 9 to 5, and I'm meant to move very fast and pivot and quit things if it doesn't light me up anymore. Which I have a manifesting generator daughter, and she's quitting volleyball this year, and I was devastated, but then I realized, but she wants to focus on something else that she loves, so I have to it's helped me help her to, like, navigate that too, so
Yeah. Oh, that's good as well. Somewhere else it applies.
yeah, yeah. I'm telling you, I have all these ideas of every single facet of life needs this to thrive and to get where we need to get as a collective.
Yeah. Well, mine's just ticking over with I'm sorry, I feel like I'm not paying as
No.
much attention as I should because it's just sparking off ideas in my head, at
Well
the back of my head as you're talking.
and so that's the interesting part about my design is that I'm meant to spark this in people. It says that I this is what I'm meant to spark in people, and I'm the leader of I have there's 197 different core fours, incarnation crosses, whatever life's purpose, whatever you want to call it. And I have the one of this new era, which is leading leading it. And so that's why I'm just diving so deep into it. And and I also have a defined communication center, defined throat center in my design, which means that I know what I want to say when I want to say it, and I say it. Whether it's taken the right way, whether people don't agree, I know what I meant to say. Some people need to be around other people. I have a couple clients who have undefined throats. They need to be around other people to get ideas and just be in that aura of other people with defined throats. So yeah, it's very cool. Thanks. It's one of my gifts, actually. My one of my core fours is the gate of 20, which is a spontaneous speaker. So,
To that speaking.
yeah, I know. I'm like, yeah, it's crazy. Which is why I will never do scripts. I will never thrive that way in speaking. I won't write a script to speak. I will just speak. Um,
Nice.
yeah.
Nice. But then some people would need that script, wouldn't they? Oh, yeah. Sorry,
Yep.
I'm going off on one now.
No, yeah, for sure. Yeah. And I always
um,
say there's nothing good or bad in your design. There's only you. And that's what you're how you're gonna thrive. The closer you live to your design, the more magnetic you become to everything that is meant for you, and I've found that, my clients have found that when we shift a little thing in their business towards their design, their clients just come in. It's very fascinating.
um, we can't finish the conversation because part of my whole purpose is about finding peace and freedom
Mhm.
and adventure. And you talked about what one hell of an adventure in terms of your entrepreneurial journey. But I always have to ask, do you do any kind of more traditional adventure type stuff like traveling or, I don't know, skydiving,
Yeah,
whitewater rafting? I'm just listing things I've done. So do you do anything like that?
skydiving terrifies me, but, it's maybe someday. But I love to travel, but not for long periods of time. I'm more of a homebody, but I do love to travel. Ocean is my favorite. It's just so calming, and I can just think there better than anywhere else. It's funny, your design also tells you the environment you thrive in the best. So, mountains are my husband's, and it's so crazy, but yeah, I love to get outside, I love to walk. My back won't let me run anymore, but as much as I can get outside and just be with nature, the better. When I'm having a rough day, I put my AirPods in and I go outside and walk and by myself because I'm very, like I said, individual. I get my ideas when I'm by myself.
Nice. You might like one of the episodes that came out as part of the launch of the podcast was Emma Jane Sanford. And she talks about boating and how she ran like a boating school up in Darwin in Australia and how she went sailing up
Oh, that's
to
cool.
Indonesia and then she she even she moved back home to Northern Ireland, had like a 10-minute Zoom call with these people she'd never met before, and just agreed to go on like a sailing trip with them from Australia to Fiji. And I was just like, oh my god, for a 10-minute
Wow.
conversation.
I
But
would love to yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Yeah. She's probably really connected to her authority, in her design, you
well,
know?
it's funny you say this. So she does kind of human design as well. Um, and funnily enough, before I'd started this podcast, I'd never heard of human design,
Really? It's
and
nudging
now
ya.
it is. So we've only been live for 3 weeks, and I only started interviews in August, and you're the fourth person now that I've interviewed that has some form of human design within, whether it's coaching or they've just done it for themselves as well. So it's telling me I need to get mine done.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I know. I, got this podcast microphone I won it in a contest. I thought I was getting a grounding mat, and this came I was like, "What am I gonna do with this?" And I know now it was the universe, God just showing me this to be like, "Hello, you need to pick this up and do something with it." And now it's my favorite thing to do. So it's so funny.
Yeah, part of my, like I say, when I was starting out, funnily enough, mine was helping stressed, overwhelmed, burnt out 9 to 5ers to leave their job and find kind of like build a business around their purpose.
Mhm.
But I was getting into like I say, all the marketing strategy conversations and that kind of thing, and it just so not me at all.
Yeah.
And social media. The only thing I want to use social media for is watching people walk in the mountains and cook
Yeah.
barbecue food.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
all I want to use social media for. Yeah, it got to the point where I was just like, I'm not doing this anymore. I need to change something up. And then that's how I fell into the kind of podcasting side and the speaking side and what I'm doing now. But I love this so much more. It's like I could, if no one listened to this podcast, I wouldn't care. I'd still do these
Yeah.
interviews because I just
That's
love the
yeah,
conversation.
that's how I am too.
Yeah, excellent. So, Stephanie, tell us how people can reach you, and we'll put everything in the show notes. But tell us how people can get in touch with you.
Yeah, I think the best place is stefcarlstedt.com. There's a contact tab. You can just shoot me a message if you have any questions, but for sure get your chart. So you can start the process of seeing how this can help you understand what's been going on and why you're maybe feeling burnt out and frustrated and overwhelmed and not you. Because at the end of the day, you should feel really good. You should be able to sleep really well. And when we're misaligned, it doesn't happen. So yeah, make sure to do that.
And just quickly, is it a long process? This you mentioned you have to have your birth time,
So
was
you
it,
just
and
have
the
to have,
birthplace?
yeah, birthplace, birth time, and birth date. Yep.
So that's a very quick process for people to get um, quite a hell of a lot of useful information back that
Yes.
could potentially change your life.
Yes. 100%.
Excellent. Well, we'll leave it there, Stephanie. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been
Yeah. Thank
a
you.
great conversation. Um, yeah, and very insightful. And you've just got my brain ticking away with how I can maybe start implementing some of this in my
Yes.
in my
Oh,
business.
yeah. Maybe you can help me get it out there more.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Stephanie.
You're welcome.
Have you ever felt like business should be more than numbers and deadlines? Like there's an entire world to explore beyond your office walls? Is adventure calling your name? I'm Ian Whitehead and I'm your guide on Uncharted, the Entrepreneur's Adventure podcast,
where I bring you real stories from visionary leaders who've built empires and climbed literal mountains. Because success isn't just about the bottom line, it's about the thrill of taking risks, the courage to pursue what truly lights you up, and the freedom to chart your own course. Each week we'll dive deep into the minds of boundary-pushing entrepreneurs and adventurers, revealing how they found purpose in the chaos and discovered their true north, both in business and beyond. So, if you're ready to break free from the ordinary, embrace bold action and inject a little more adventure into your life, welcome to Uncharted. Your journey starts here.